everyone, my name is Sara and in today's video I'll be showing you everything I've sewn in 2025. 2025 was a really great sewing year for me. I've been sewing for a few years now. I started sewing in 2019, but for my first few years I only sewed a couple pieces each year, and 2024 was the year that I started sewing a lot more. But during that entire year I only sewed 10 pieces, so I was quite surprised to have sewn this much in 2025, but I'm really happy I did. I've learned so much this past year and I actually can't believe I made some of these pieces, so I'm really happy with my progress. I also started learning pattern making this year and I started to make my own pattern. So a few of these pieces aren't really perfect because I tried making the pattern myself, but I'm still really proud of them and with time I will keep improving. But yeah, if you want to see everything I've sewn in 2025, then keep watching. I'm gonna start with the tops first, and the first one is this one right here. This is the crisp blouse by Mau Pattern, and this one was kind of a fail one. It's not terrible, but I struggled quite a little bit with this. The instructions for this pattern was to use French seams, but I had never done French seam and I struggled a little bit because this fabric is not the easiest to sew. So I ended up using an overlockers, which isn't a huge deal because this is for myself, but I do wish I had tried to make the French seams work because I think it would look a lot better. And I made this blouse because I wanted to make a blouse. I had never made one before. I also planned on wearing it underneath corsets. I ended up making a few corsets, which I will show you in a second. I probably will still wear this sometime, but I haven't been able to wear it much. The next top is actually quite a simple one. This is my gym t-shirt. I made this pattern myself and I actually made this quite a while ago. I have been trying to perfect it because I really like this style of t-shirt to wear at the gym. So I have been trying to get my perfect pattern. I think now it's pretty close, but I am trying to figure out how this pattern works with different fabrics. So I tried it with some thicker cotton with less elastane, and now I tried it in this one that's very stretchy. But this is probably one of my most worn pieces out of all of this because I wore this to the gym quite a lot. Next we have two corsets, so I'm going to show you both of them at the same time. First one that I made was this blue one, and this one I made out of some scrap fabric that I had. I really didn't have much of this fabric, but thankfully it was enough to make this corset. Obviously used a very different fabric on the inside, but it's not visible when you're wearing it, so it's fine. Since this one was the first, I actually had to make a lot of adjustments, especially here on the back. I really wanted the back to look like this, but I was struggling a little bit with this center seam. I then perfected it a little bit on the second one, but on this one I had to make quite a few adjustments. And my biggest issue with this corset was actually applying the bias tape to the corners, like these round corners. I really struggled with this, and I think the main reason was because this bias tape was cotton. In the second one I actually used satin bias tape, but in this one I used cotton, and I think that made it a little bit harder to apply. The main difference between these two corsets is that in this one I made the straps removable. They are attached with eyelets on both the front and the back, but in the second one they are actually part of the back. This made it a lot easier to sew, but honestly I think I like the look of the other one a little bit better. This one ended up having a little bit of gaping right here. One I made out of some curtain fabric. I actually made this out of curtains from my bedroom, which is really funny to me, but I really like this fabric. It's really thick and the color is beautiful, and I think it looks really good with the gold and with this satin ribbon. In 2026 I want to keep improving my corsets, but I want to try to make a few different ones and not the same shape. The next top was not planned at all. This was an idea that I had a random day and I decided to just make it. I actually made this very quick. I think I made this in like a week. I was scrolling on Pinterest and I saw a lot of embroidery projects and I was like, I would really like to learn embroidery. I didn't want to make just an embroidery hoop to decorate. I wanted to actually make something that I could wear. So I found this embroidery pattern on Etsy. I will leave it linked down below, but I really liked it and I thought it would look really cute on a top at the bottom of a top, so that's what I did. The top itself is not my favorite. It's a simple princess seamed linen top, but it's a little bit too loose on me and I probably wouldn't make this exact pattern again. I don't really like the neckline either, but I'm really proud of the embroidery. It's obviously not the best embroidery in the world because it was my first time trying it, but I think for a first time it looks pretty good and the colors are beautiful, so yeah, I'm really proud of this one. The next one is a milkmaid top. The pattern I used was the Lydia Naomi Spaghetti Dream Frog. I made this top because I wanted to test this pattern to see if I liked it because I wanted to use it on a special project and I didn't want want to try it on the fabric. So this was kind of a toile, but I made it out of cute fabric so that I could wear it. And it worked out quite fine, but I don't think I used the right lining for this. This lining is very warm, and I tried wearing this in the summer and it was just impossible. It was way too hot. So I do wish I used a different lining, but the pattern itself is amazing and I really love the shape of this. I highly recommend this pattern. And the last top is this very simple jersey top. I had a little bit of this white jersey fabric. I really didn't have a lot. I could only make a little top, and I decided to make it using the graduation dress pattern, but I hacked it to make it into a top, and I changed the neckline quite a little bit. It's a comfortable top. I actually wear it quite a lot. Now we're going to move on to the matching sets, and I have quite a few, but the very first one was actually a fail, so I only have the skirt to show you. In the beginning of the year, I actually thought I would make this series where I would take pieces of clothing that I made when I first started sewing and give them a new life, and this was the first project that I wanted to do that, but it didn't work out very well, so I kind of gave up on it. But this was originally a shirt linen dress that I made either in 2020 or 2021, I'm not sure, and it looked kind of okay at first, but after washing it many times, it started looking really bad, and so I decided to take it apart and turn it into a two-piece set because I really love the color of this fabric, and I thought that if I could repurpose it, it would be one of my most worn pieces. And I made the skirt first, so I turned this into a half circle skirt, but I ended up not wearing it at all last year. I just never reached for it, and I feel like the fabric is a little bit too damaged on the back because of the shearing. I think it's a little bit wrinkled. Even though I've ironed it many times, I don't think this will come off. And I also started the matching top, but I never finished it. I just made this, and the idea was actually to make a corset out of this top and to wear the corset with this blouse because I actually think these colors look really good together, but I just never finished it. I may still finish it because I think it looks cute and I think it would look good with this skirt. But yeah, this one was a bit of a failed one. The next one, I actually have a full YouTube video where I made this, which was sewing my Pinterest board for summer, and this was one of the two-piece sets I made in that video. I had some broderie and glass fabric that I really liked, so I decided to make a matching set with this top and some shorts. I drafted the pattern for this one myself, so if you want to see how I made this, check that video out. And the next matching set was also made during that video, and this one I made out of viscose fabric. I got this fabric while I was in Paris last year and I really liked it, so I wanted to make something special out of this, and I decided to make the two-piece set. But I made the skirt before I made the top, and this skirt is probably one of my most worn pieces of the summer. I wore it all the time. I really loved it. The pattern that I used still isn't out. I was a pattern tester for it, but I don't think that pattern ever came out. This was the Valentina skirt by Caroline Street, and honestly, I really like it, so I do hope it does come out eventually. If it does, I highly recommend it. The next set I actually made for Valentine's Day, and this is a two-piece set of a jacket and the skirt. The pattern I used for the jacket was the Gabi jacket by Dressmaking Amore, and I really recommend this pattern. I've actually made a second one because I loved it so much. This was my first ever jacket. I have never sewn one before, and I feel like it's very easy. The instructions are very clear. There's a video, although the video is a little bit sped up, so you kind of have to go back and watch a few times to get it right. But the hardest part of this project was actually attaching the lining. That one was a little bit tricky, but the jacket itself, it's not too hard to make. There aren't any buttons or zipper or anything, so it's quite straightforward, and the result is quite beautiful in my opinion. And then I made this little matching skirt, and I think they look really cute together, but to be quite honest, this is a very tight pencil skirt, so it wasn't the most comfortable for me. So when I decided to make a second set, I actually chose a different pattern for the skirt. I have a video of making this set here on YouTube. It's the Sewing My Pinterest Board for Fall video, so I will leave it linked. But this one I made out of this pink tweed fabric, which is really beautiful, and I also got it during my Paris trip, so it's extra special because of that. But I did make a change to this pattern when I made this one. I took it in a little bit on the back, but I explained that in the YouTube video, so if you want to see that, I will leave it linked. In the matching skirt I'm actually wearing right now, I actually wear this skirt a lot without wearing the jacket because when I finished it, it was nearly winter, so it is a little bit too cold to wear this. But once the weather gets a little bit warmer, I know I'll be wearing this a lot. And now my favorite section, the dresses. The first one is this milkmaid dress, and I used the Anastasia pattern by Joanna Patterns, which to be honest, it's not my favorite pattern. There are a few things that I don't love about it. The sleeves are a little bit too small for me, and I feel like the best area could fit me a little bit better. But surprisingly, I actually wore this dress a lot last year. It looks a little bit weird right now because the elastic on this sleeve came off, so I need to fix that. I think the fabric pattern is really beautiful, but this fabric wrinkles a lot, so that wasn't great. But again, even though I keep pointing out issues that I have with it, I still wore it a lot, and I know I will still wear it many times because it is cute and it is very comfortable. So all of these things are not really really big issues. The next one was the biggest fail. I'm really disappointed in this one. I originally made this dress to wear in Disneyland, but I ended up not wearing it because it was really uncomfortable. Fun fact, I actually wore this one to Disneyland and it was fantastic. It was really comfortable and it looked beautiful in pictures. But that was not the one that I wanted to wear. I wanted to wear this one and I wanted to wear it with this jacket. However, I think everything that could go wrong with this dress went wrong. My biggest mistake with this one was fabric choice. I chose crepe. I don't know if that's what you call it in English, but in Portuguese it's crepe. But I chose a quite thick one. It has a slight stretch, but not too much. And I didn't notice it was stretchy. I interfaced the whole thing. I was trying to recreate my wedding dress that I made in 2024, but I wanted to make a wearable version. But this fabric was a lot thicker and very different from the one that I made for my wedding dress. And it ended up being really bulky right here. And the shape is not right. When I'm wearing it, you can kind of see the lining. The boning kind of sticks out a little bit right here, which isn't great. I put a lot of boning in this bodice, which made it really uncomfortable. I also made a mistake applying the zipper, so this part also looks really strange. And the worst part was actually after I first washed this, because the interfacing came loose from the fabric and I just had some air bubbles all through the bodice. When I ironed them, they kind of came out, but it still doesn't look great. The fabric also started peeling. Yeah, it really doesn't look great. I still ended up wearing this in Paris and it looked cute. I liked wearing it, but the reality is I only wore it once because once I got home and I washed it, it just looked terrible. The next one is my favorite. I think this is my favorite dress I have ever made. I called it my dream spring dress because I think it is really my dream dress. I love everything about it. I love the bodice. I love the skirt. It even has some ruffles on the bottom, so I'm really happy with this one. The fabric is from Liberty. I got this in London and the feel of this fabric is really amazing and the print is obviously gorgeous. This is the Caroline Rose print and it's beautiful in person. I made the pattern for this one, but I didn't make a YouTube video. I did make a couple shorts, so if you want to check it out, I will leave them linked, but unfortunately I didn't make a full YouTube video on it. This is a bustier top and a circle skirt with a ruffle at the bottom, and I made the pattern by following the instructions from Caroline Street video on making the Mademoiselle dress from Houses TV. So again, I will leave that linked in the description. The next one is also another one of my favorites, and this one is the Juliana corset dress by Caroline Street. I have had this fabric in my stash for many years and I didn't know what to do with it, but I'm so glad I chose this dress because I think it's the perfect match for this fabric. I made a YouTube video while I was making this one, so I will leave it linked. And this is one of the most flattering dresses that I've made, so if you like this style of dress, I really recommend this pattern. The next one is my birthday dress, and this is the Vikisews Nelly dress, which is a bias cut dress, and it was the first bias cut dress that I've made. I've always been intimidated to try bias cut dresses because I was afraid to get it wrong, but I saw a picture of this dress on the Vikisews Instagram page and I just knew I had to make it. It is so flattering and so summery that I just had to try it. I got this really beautiful satin crepe fabric that I really wish I had gotten more because it's now sold out. But luckily I had enough to make this dress and I made it for my birthday and I wore it quite a lot and I know I will continue wearing it this summer. The next dress is a quite popular one. This is the graduation dress. I felt like everybody had tried this dress but me, so I finally tried it and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed with it. Don't get me wrong, this dress is beautiful. It's very long and flowy. It's very comfortable and I think the color is also beautiful, but the fit for me didn't quite match my expectation. I had to adjust it quite a little bit on the side because it didn't fit me right, and I also think the shape on the neckline ended up a little bit different than the pictures online. Again, I think it's because of the fabric that I chose. I chose a cotton jersey which didn't have a lot of stretch, and I think this will look a lot better with a much stretchier jersey. I believe that the recommended one was like viscose jersey, so I'll definitely want to make this again but with a different kind of jersey. This is another one of my favorites, and this is the Lydia Naomi spaghetti dream frock. And this was the special dress that I said before that I wanted to use this pattern with, and the reason why it's special is because I actually got this fabric on my honeymoon. I recently started getting fabrics whenever I go traveling somewhere, and this was actually the first fabric that I got abroad. I got this during my honeymoon in Australia and I wanted to make it into something that I could wear and remember the trip, but I also wanted to be able to wear this for many years. So I chose a pattern that had an elasticated back, so even if I gain a little bit of weight, I still can wear it because it has an elasticated back and it also has a side zipper. So it really was the perfect pattern to make this dress, and it is one of my favorites. I only made this in October, I believed, but I wore it quite a lot even though the weather was a little bit chillier, but I can't wait for the weather to be a little bit warmer so I can start wearing this again. The next one is the Hazel dress by Dressmaking Amore, and I've also made this during the YouTube video. I changed the neckline on this one to be a rounded neckline, and I made this out of this viscose knit fabric that is super warm and super comfortable. I said in that video that I thought I would be wearing it all the time, and I absolutely have. I have worn this dress so much much already. It is so comfortable and so warm. This is adjustable in the back, so it also is super flattering. So I also recommend this pattern if you like this kind of a dress. The next one is a velvet dress, and this was the dress that I made for Christmas this year. I wore this on Christmas Day and it was very warm. I'm really happy that I made this. This is the Vivian dress by Dressmaking Amore. I made a few mistakes with this dress. I had never used this kind of velvet before and I ironed it, which I shouldn't have. So I damaged it a little bit where I ironed it. And this fabric was also a little bit stretchy, so I had to adjust this pattern a little bit so that it would fit me. But overall, I like it and it's a really good winter dress. And finally, we have the sequin dresses. The first one is the Aphrodite dress by Vikisews, and this pattern is a part of their wedding sewing course. But I actually won this on a giveaway on Instagram, which was really great because this was a very complex pattern. This was something that I wouldn't have tried before, but since I won that, I decided to try it and I'm really glad I did. I feel like I learned a lot with this dress, and this dress is extremely flattering. It's really beautiful and really flattering. I'm not gonna lie, there are many flaws in this dress. If you see the inside of this dress, it's really not great. I made a lot of mistakes while making this, but this was kind of my twirl because I didn't try the pattern before and I really should have because this didn't fit me right. I had to do a lot of workarounds to get this to fit me, but in the end it did fit me and I know I will fix the inside of it eventually. I just was a little bit tired of working on this dress. I think it took me like 2 months to make this, so I was a little bit tired of it already, so I ended up not perfecting the lining. But if I do have an occasion to wear it, I will fix it obviously. But I think I'll probably change the back to be a lace-up instead of a zipper because it is a little bit tight right now, although that makes it extremely flattering. But I do think I'd like it to be a little bit more comfortable, and this is definitely a pattern I will want to make again, but probably not in sequins. And the last dress is my New Year's Eve dress, and this was my second sequin dress. This one ended up being too short. I will have to change it. I did wear it, but it is too short, so I wasn't super comfortable with it. I do still have enough fabric to fix this, so I will. But this dress was self-drafted and I'm really proud of it because it was my first strapless pattern, but I don't think I made it just right because I don't think the waist sits where it's supposed to. I think I made a mistake somewhere, so the fit is a little bit weird, but I'm still really proud of it and I think it looks beautiful. But yeah, it's just a little bit too short and the pattern would need a little bit of fixing. And that's it. That's everything I've sewn in 2025. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future videos. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!